Now let's flip the card and talk about the Niner defense going up against Jalen Hurts and this Eagles offense. To me, it's like not only do the Niners need a powerful rush, but they need to stay in their lanes. It needs to be a very well coordinated rush. The good news, though, Raj, I think, is that we've seen that in recent weeks from them. They didn't give Geno Smith avenues to run for the most part. They stayed in a very coordinated rush, kept him hemmed in the pocket, and to me, that's got to be the focal point of the pass rush. Since they got Chase Young, the Niners have generated 15 sacks in the 3 games since Chase Young has come aboard. He's doing a nice job of setting the edge, but they're also not giving opposing quarterbacks that obvious run lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Chase Young effect has been amazing ever since he's come in. Again, Nick Bosa's played like Nick Bosa again. He's had 5 sacks in the last 3 games with Chase Young there. That's number 1 in the NFL against all edge rushers. Like Nick Bosa's found the rejuvenation center with Chase Young. He's out there having fun. Hargrave has been amazing, and Armstead in the middle. Those 2 guys have just been absolutely amazing in terms of getting pressure and generating, quarterback hits since Chase Young has been there. So yeah, they have to continue that pace they've had. It's not going to be an easy task because the Eagles' offensive line is probably the best in the league, and Lane Johnson will be back this week. He says he's going to play no matter what. He had a groin issue, but he'll be there. They got a very, very stout offensive line. So it's not going to be easy. But again, I think this secondary has also benefited from this pass rush. If the 49ers pass rush can continue to stay and contain Jalen Hurts, easier said than done, it's going to help the whole defense, which if we've also want to talk about that secondary, this secondary has been so much better. And I think the other aspect is they took out Oliver, they put in Lenore, but they've got their hands full because now you got Devonta Smith and you got A.J. Brown. We saw what happened last week. Mooney Ward was able to kind of lock down DK Metcalf. He's got to recreate that performance against A.J. Brown, another big physical specimen that can run after the catch. It can be a tough matchup. But the other aspect is, you said containing Jalen Hurts. I think they might want to put a spy on him, maybe Fred Warner, because the Jalen Hurts is damaging teams, not just with the arm. Like his passing yards, I feel like could be better overall, but it's his legs. Like he is beating teams with his legs. If you saw that game against the Bills, that back-breaking, game-winning touchdown came because he was able to run. And that's what the 49ers have to do is contain Jalen Hurts. You can't let him run. You can't let him escape the pocket. And they have to limit them from getting down in short yardage situation because that stupid tush-push, brotherly love, whatever you want to call it,
right.
Brotherly shove. I mean, if the 49ers get into 3rd and short, 4th and short, I don't know if they're going to be able to stop that play, Larry.
Oh, I know. First and second down on defense are absolutely crucial. You can't let them get to 3rd and 3 because outside of, if they get outside their 25-yard line, it's almost like 4 down territory on 3rd and 3. And the other thing is, Steve Wilkes is going to have to kind of reprogram his mind as far as what he thinks he's going to get from this Eagles offense compared to the other offenses they face, because the Eagles kind of mind screw you with this. You think one way and they're thinking a different way because they're thinking of it as a 4 down situation and you're thinking of it as a 3 down situation. Now the Eagles offensively, let's talk about them. They're 9th in total offense. They're 8th in rushing offense, 13th in passing offense. Then you flip the card and you look at the Niners on the defensive side and you say, okay, they're 5th in total D, 12th against the pass, 2nd in the NFL against the run. This is the one area that on paper, I think it really favors the Niners, but then I don't know if I believe the numbers that I'm looking at on paper. Like the Niners run D says they have the 2nd best run D in all of the NFL, but they didn't stop the run against Cleveland. They really didn't stop the run against Minnesota. They didn't stop the run against Cincinnati. The last couple games, they've gotten a lead. I mean, they did a good job against Etienne, but they got a big lead in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the scoreboard really took away the run. And then you look at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay rolled in with one of the worst rushing attacks in pro football. And in this last game, they also jumped out to a big lead. And so it's like now you've got DeAndre Swift, who leads the Eagles with 770 rushing yards. But don't forget that Jalen Hurts has piled up 410 rushing yards himself. How confident are you that the 49ers run defense can stop anybody's run, let alone the Eagles with Hurts and Swift?
So this is a good question. And I think that the 49ers run defense, again, you mentioned it, has been good because they've been up in games. The games that they have lost, obviously, the teams were able to run on them, and it dictated the gameplay. When the 49ers have the lead, we've seen how good they play. We've seen Brock Purdy been able to kind of hold that lead. But again, it's those 3 games where they lost. They couldn't come back. Brock Purdy played bad, in the down the stretch. He couldn't will the team to win. So it goes back to the whole thing of, can Brock and this 49er team play from behind? So if they get a hole early in this game, I don't know if the 49ers are going to be able to stop the run because they play a way different style. They start pressing, but other teams, when they're faced against the 49ers and have to play from behind, again, they're going to start passing because generally, before the last couple of weeks, that secondary was very susceptible to big plays, and that's what was happening. It was Oliver, he couldn't get the tackles. The 49ers were missing tackles at high rates. People were doing screen passes left and right on the Niners, and it kind of prevented the 49ers to be able to stop anything. But I feel like the 49ers have to get to a lead, right? They have to jump out to a big lead because they don't play as good from behind, I think, overall. And not only that, they have to make the adjustments in the second half. So they cannot let the Philadelphia Eagles hang around. This is, to me, my biggest concern is if you let the Eagles hang around, Larry, they're going to win because they've done it. The Chiefs did it. The Bills did it. They're waiting for a opportunity for you to make a mistake. Football is like that, man. You make one little mistake and the other team's going to pounce on it. A team like the Eagles that are 10-1, they didn't win every week because they didn't make the most of their opportunities. That's it. They're a very opportunistic team. And in terms of being able to stop that run, that is probably the most concerned area I have because they have a mobile quarterback. The 49ers traditionally over the last couple of years have had the worst luck against mobile quarterbacks. We've seen it against Lamar. We've seen it against Russell Wilson. Anytime a quarterback has mobility, hell, against the Falcons last year, Marcus Mariota looked like Patrick Mahomes. So, I mean, to me, that is the biggest concern is, can the 49ers stop this running attack? And it's not even Swift. It's Jalen Hurts. To me, that is the biggest key is, can they stop the mobile quarterback? And they haven't really proved that they can over the last couple of years. They've gotten better at times, but, they got some tough ones coming up with Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson in the next couple of weeks. And that's, to me, the biggest concern is, can they stop that running quarterback? And that's why I said I feel like they have to kind of use Fred Warner to spy and contain, because if they don't, Jalen's going to be running all over us.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing that Jalen's dangerous as a scrambler. He's dangerous on designed runs.
Yeah.
They'll do both. If you get out of your rush lanes, like I don't know if I would play a lot of stunting games up front because sometimes those result in giving the quarterback an avenue. If this quarterback gets an avenue to run, he will run. And the thing about this game that's kind of interesting, and that's why I think Greenlaw and Warner are so crucial, because when they see him take off, they got to close that space and make it a short gain. But Philadelphia